Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on Origin by Dan Brown. Origin is book 5 in Dan Brown's series of novels following Robert Langdon. In this installment, Langdon is in Spain to attend an event that claims to change the face of science and religion forever. The event is being hosted by a former student of Langdon's, Edmund Kirsch. But chaos suddenly erupts at the event, and it's up to Langdon and the museum director, Ambra Vidal, to finish what was started and make sure the world finds out what Kirsch was about to unveil to the world. Another great installment to this series featuring Robert Langdon. I seriously love and enjoy these books, and they're just kind of everything I want them to be and expect them to be. I feel like sometimes people want to overthink and overanalyze these books, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? The point of these novels is that they're meant to be fun and thrilling and exciting and kind of make you contemplate certain things. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's what this novel did. It was definitely very thought-provoking, and I definitely had a lot of fun reading it. And the premise was also very intriguing to me. I was waiting for what the big reveal to be because, yeah, this book, like a lot of the novels do, this novel has a lot to do with, like, you know, concepts of religion and humanity. So, of course, you're sitting there waiting the whole time what the big mysterious reveal is. You're waiting for Robert Langdon to work his magic. Now, I will admit that though I enjoyed this novel, there were elements of it, especially by the time you get to the very ending, that yeah, I felt a little disappointed. I felt a little let down. It might have just been me, you know, me and my wild imagination. I was expecting some really wild and crazy things to happen, and you kind of don't really get those super wild and crazy things that you're expecting. It's a little bit more tamer and calm than that. So yeah, that's kind of what made me feel a little let down. I guess I was expecting a much more shocking and dramatic conclusion to the big mystery going on. But still, I enjoyed it for what it was, and the ending was still effective. Like I said, these novels are meant to kind of be thought-provoking and, you know, speculative, if you will. And yeah, that's what the novel did. As for the characters, I continue to really enjoy Robert Langdon as a character. He's basically his usual self. I suspect that Dan Brown will never do anything new or creative with Robert Langdon. You know, I've said this in reviews in the past about books like this, you know, contemporary thrillers. The point of books like this is not about the characters, it's about the plot more than anything. And yeah, Robert Langdon, he's just his typical, usual self. You like him as a protagonist. He is a bit arrogant on occasion because he is usually the smartest guy in any room. But I still continue to love his genius and how creative he was, how brilliant. And you know what? I always just appreciate Robert Langdon. It's like he's just thrown into these situations, you know, he's just thrown casually into these situations. He just happens to stumble upon these situations. It's not like he willingly goes into these things. A lot of times he really wants no involvement doing anything, but he does it anyway because he has the knowledge to help out. And that's kind of another thing that I like about Robert Langdon as a character, because he uses his wits and his intelligence. He's not a physical guy by any means, and I like that about his character. And I also liked his female companion, Ambra Vidal, I think is how her name is pronounced. Ambra Vidal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But yeah, I loved her as Langdon's female companion. It seems like he always has a female companion. It's like Doctor Who. Doctor always has a female companion, it seems. But yeah, I liked Ambra as a character. She was definitely not playing the damsel in distress. Even though she's not as smart as Langdon, the thing is she is still smart in her own way. She's able to think things through differently compared to Langdon, because sometimes Langdon, he can get so wrapped up in his own intelligence that he's not really thinking clearly, and he's missing a step. But Amber is there to fill in those gaps. So yeah, she has her own special intelligence. She's not a damsel in distress. And yeah, she questions when necessary. You know, if Langdon's not making any sort of sense, she's there to be like, you know, explain this to me, why are we doing this? And she sometimes has alternative thinking, which is important. I also really enjoyed the character of Edmund Kirsch, and I really can't talk too much about the character because that would be heading into spoiler territory. But just to let you know, I really liked Edmund Kirsch. He's a former student of Robert Langdon's. Yeah, he has come up with something in regards to the future of humanity and the future of religion. It's all very shocking, and yeah, what is it? What exactly is he going to reveal at this mystery conference that he's holding? And yeah, guys, we all know this is probably going to be made into a movie at some point with Tom Hanks, because they've been making these movies. They haven't done The Lost Symbol yet, but I think they are going to make that one, so hopefully they'll get to Origin in the future, because I would definitely like to see this in movie format. And you guys, kind of speaking about Edmund Kirsch, I may be typecasting here, but if this does get turned into a movie, I kind of want Benedict Cumberbatch to play Edmund Kirsch. Maybe that's a little shameful of me. It's definitely typecasting, but I can't help it. And then the one final character that I loved, you guys, I absolutely adored. And yeah, I want to see this play out in a movie format as well. But yeah, the character of Winston. Winston is actually a piece of artificial intelligence, and I loved him. It was a really clever, brilliant concept in this movie, or in this book. In this book, I loved how Winston was used. Absolutely clever. And the Robert Langdon books, they tend to not be very humorous, but thanks to Winston, that provided a lot for the humor in this book. So it's that time of the review. I need to place Origin in order of, you know, order of favorite to least favorite, if you will. And let me make a note here. I really enjoy all of these books. Just because something's at the bottom doesn't necessarily mean it's god-awful. But yeah, I place the Da Vinci Code is still my top favorite book, and then Angels and Demons, and then Inferno, and then this comes in 4th, and then The Lost Symbol is 5th. So yeah, that's where I'd kind of place this book in context with the other books, I suppose. Just kind of give you an idea there. So, yeah, you guys, I continue to enjoy this series, continue to enjoy the character of Robert Langdon. Dan Brown, he definitely has his method and his formula. Every single book in this series, they start a certain way, they have a middle that goes in a certain direction, and then they have an ending. I mean, everything is very formulaic, so yeah, you know what you're expecting when you get into these books. You're never really like totally surprised, you know, by the narrative structure or even the characters. But yeah, I still love this book. It was definitely very, very good. I definitely recommend it. If you like all of the books in the series so far, you should definitely check this out. So, that's it for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed. In the comments below, have you guys read Origin? Do you plan on reading it anytime in the future? And yeah, what are your overall feelings about the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown? Just let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this review, you may like these other reviews. Bye, guys.